This is TWiT.
We were giggling about this a while back because there's so much glass and so many shiny lights. Sebastian actually got his happy little paws on Corsair's Crystal Series 280X RGB tempered glass micro ATX case.
It's a sharp-looking case.
Yes. I mean, I still tend to do, boxes you can't see into because of the way I route cables. But it's a healthy size for a micro ATX motherboard. Lots of space inside of that case. What was the performance like for it?
I think it did pretty well. The advantage this case has over other micro ATX cases is it's larger than your typical micro ATX case because it's wider, right? So everything's on its side already, but it has like an extra compartment, sort of on the back side of the motherboard. Sebastian did do some performance testing. Let's see, where did it end up falling in the list there? So you get some negative because tempered glass doesn't really flow air very well. So you have to rely on, you can see the duct there running along that sort of most forward edge of the case in that picture where, that's basically where your intake area is. So it's not as free flowing, so it's kind of a negative there. But as long as the stuff inside the case can still remain cool enough so that its fans don't go spinning up and making the noise levels an issue, then it's still going to be relatively quiet, right? But it's kind of a double whammy, right? If you can't get the air in well enough, then even though there's glass, you would think, okay, well, less perforations, it's probably quieter. That might actually be the opposite because, again, for the same reason, if you can't get the air in to keep it relatively cool, then the internal fans might spin up, and it might spin up loud enough to actually make it even past the glass. So, but all that said, I mean, it was still decent. It's just that, yes, if you have a larger, more open air case, it's going to run quieter than this. But you have to pay a little bit for, the aesthetics of having tempered glass in all those places.
I mean, when you look at it's also, I want to point out, when you look at the noise levels, the lowest noise levels of any of the cases tested in terms of like a GPU load, CPU load, 47.9 on the GPU load on the NZXT H700i, and the maximum was 56.1 decibels on the Fractal Design Meshify C. And that's on one hand, that's a pretty huge spread, but temperature wise, you're talking right around 6 degrees for the full GPU load. 49.8, 49.6, 49.6 to 57.2. So, 7 or 8.
Yeah, the temperature spread wasn't horrible. It wasn't really like super negative, so to speak. But it was near the bottom of the pack. So, and there's probably a couple of things you can do during the build to try to like maybe make that a little bit better. But then it involves potentially making tweaks to a case that you just bought brand new and shouldn't necessarily have to do tweaks on, right?
Right. I mean, top-mounted exhaust, no rear fan mounts. It could be. You probably could tweak. You probably add additional fans and increase the airflow through it. But it's not the. There are more terrible cases out there, but it runs hot, but it's still within. I think the max load is still within like 6 degrees of the best performing case on the list. But man, those light fans are, you're either gonna love them or you're gonna hate them. There's just not much in between.
Yeah. I mean, if you get this you're pretty much getting this case for the look of it, right? I mean, that's probably your primary factor for a case anyway, unless you're just a person that just needs a case to stick the things in, and you're just going to shove it under the desk and not look at it.
I bought cases specifically to reduce noise levels in an office. but
yeah,
they're ugly. I'm told by my friends who have motherboard LEDs that match their fan LEDs, that match their keyboard LEDs, that match the monitor stand LEDs,
and the RAM LEDs now. Don't forget those.